Grand Rising, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever, whenever, and whoever you are, welcome to Awakened Abundance, your go-to channel for positive vibes, law of attraction, and self-help content. If this is your first time with us, feel free to have a look around, maybe subscribe, like, comment, and share if you're feeling the abundance vibes. And of course, to our subscribers, much love, much gratitude. We appreciate you all. So yeah, big thanks to you guys. Now, before getting into the spicy sauciness of the matter, it's disclaimer time, just real quick. At Awakened Abundance, we are merely grateful students of life, sharing ideas and experiences. We're not offering professional advice or any kind of legal advice. Now, with that out of the way, today's topic. This one's inspired by a Bruce Lee movie named Enter the Dragon, and I'm going to call this one What's Your Style? I'll give you a little content, so because I appreciate not everyone here are martial arts fans, so I'm just going to give like a little background. So in one of the scenes of this movie, Enter the Dragon, somebody starts showing off their martial arts skills in front of Bruce Lee in an attempt to impress him. This person realized that Bruce was not impressed, and he asks Bruce Lee the question, "What's your style?" To which Bruce Lee replies, "The art of fighting without fighting." And it's this aspect of the style that I wanted to focus on, the art of fighting without fighting. Now, when considering the multiple challenges that life can present, it's sometimes very easy to get into this kind of scenario where we feel like we have to fight for everything, because oftentimes that's how it feels. You know, if you want that promotion, you have to compete, you have to fight for it. Sometimes in love, relationships, health, even most things that are worth anything, it seems oftentimes that we have to fight for it. But what if there's an alternative approach or a way of looking at the situation to bring about good outcomes without as much pressure, without the stress, without the need to feel like you have to fight for it? There's a book called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. Within this book, it proposes that there is a science or a systematic approach to becoming rich. And it goes on throughout the book to talk about how it's about doing things in a certain way. Another thing that I found quite interesting is one of the foundational principles of Taoism, which is kind of like a form of Buddhism. One of the key components to that philosophy is something which is referred to as Wu Wei, which is the practice of effortless action. When I think of effortless action or Wu Wei, I think a good example, a nice analogy, is the analogy of driving home. Just imagine you're driving home from work and, you know, you're just doing your thing, you're driving, you get home. And then you get home and you realize that, you know what? I don't even remember part of the journey. That will be a good example of Wu Wei. Some people might call it autopilot or being in a state of flow. So it's going back to Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. Loved that movie. So going back to this example, he later on demonstrates an example of fighting without fighting, or you could argue he demonstrates Wu Wei. He actually defeats his opponent by using skillful thinking instead of physical force. So he actually beat him without actually really doing much other than thinking in a certain way. It also reminds me of some of the principles promoted in a book called The Art of War, written by Sun Tzu. I hope I've pronounced that right. In this book, they talk about military strategies and suggest that war is ultimately won or lost as a result of strategy. One of my favorite quotes from that book is, "If you know your enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." I love that quote. It also kind of feels like it ties in quite nicely with the principles mentioned in The Science of Getting Rich, as they both seem to talk about having a systematic way of doing things which ultimately highly influences the likelihood of a successful outcome. Now, during this little presentation, I've thrown in a few different influences from different places to kind of, get some interesting flavors in the mix. So I hope it's been fun to listen to so far. But the essence of this whole thing really is the idea of navigating through life using principles that enable us to be effective in our pursuits while not being overly burdened by the task or tasks that we're dealing with ultimately. So yeah, this is a quicker one today, and this is Awakened Abundance, talking about what is your style. It would be very nice to see in the comments what strategies or styles that you guys are using to navigate through life. I would like to thank you all for your time and wish you all a great day and an even better week. Thank you.